How's it going, Rams? Welcome back to another edition of CTV Sports. I'm Lee Kakowski.
And I'm Mike Walsh, and we've got so many cool stories to bring your way tonight, so let's jump right in.
After 139 days, volleyball is back in Moby Arena. Hear all about the Rams scrimmage against CU last Saturday.
The spring game for CSU football is now under 2 weeks away. See how the team is preparing as the date draws near.
And lastly, we'll give you a pair of feature stories on CSU softball and men's lacrosse.
All of that and more on CTV Sports, which starts right now.
We'll kick things off with a sport that continues to impress. The outdoor season persists for Colorado State track and field. And last weekend, it was two separate trips. One to Turlock, California, and the other just 30 miles southeast to Greeley. Let's begin on the West Coast, where two Rams stood out. Senior Sharday Johnson and Drew Thompson both placed second in their respective multis, with Johnson completing her first collegiate heptathlon and Thompson recording a new career high in the decathlon. Johnson's score consisted of personal bests in the javelin throw and 800 meter. Meanwhile, in Greeley, four Rams headlined a successful Saturday afternoon, featuring a flurry of personal bests. In the men's 110-meter hurdles, sophomore Cole Nordman's time clocks in for the third best in the conference this season. Colton Kaus, Michaela Hawkins, and Paul Agbo also had career-setting days. The Rams enjoy a few days off before packing sunscreen for another Cali trip. And this time, it's not one but four events in the Golden State. So yeah, the short rest shouldn't be taken lightly. But I'm not too worried. This group has excelled all year, and more work shouldn't go past them. Speaking of which, Mike, how did CSU Tennis handle its most recent doubleheader?
Well, Leah, the report this week may not bring the same joy as track, as the Rams dropped both of their matches, first falling to SDSU on Friday and then the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV on Saturday. And while the losses do sting, let's view exactly what went wrong. The Rams entered this match with some momentum from their previous two wins, and as you can see here, it was evident early in the doubles column, with big wins from our number 2 and 3 teams. However, once we got to the singles, everything changed, as 5 out of the first 6 sets went in SDSU's favor. And the pain didn't stop there, as only 1 of the 5 matches ended in the Rams' favor. Zara Lennon was the solo winner after a 1-6 performance in the first set. She quickly turned it around and took the next 2 forcefully from her opponent. But ultimately, it was the Aztecs that had the last laugh with that final score of 4-2. That said, the Rams still had a chance to put up at least a 500 record by the time Easter rolled around. Unfortunately, that idea vanished Saturday afternoon as an absolute heartbreaker that really came down to one match. Victoria Jajinskaya had a chance to win this one with the match tied at 3, and while she stole that first set, UNLV's Coco Zhao overcame the setback and beat the junior in 3 sets. Some major victories from Richterova and Bushkova propelled the Rams to that 3-3 tie, but in the end, it just slipped away from them and they left Laramie with some poor results. But hey, even with their recent struggles, the Rams still sit at 13-6 overall, so the season is definitely not over yet. And it continues this weekend when the Rams travel north. Hopefully we can pad the record with some victories over Utah State and Boise State. But that's enough of the negative sports news. Leah, I heard volleyball is back in session. Is that right?
Right you are, Mike, and actually the Rams have been in action for about a month now, with 3 scrimmages sprinkled in until this point. However, last Saturday was CSU's toughest competition yet, welcoming the Colorado Bus for some friendly sets. The late morning affair was a chance for both squads to mix in formations and get some full speed reps. And for first-year CSU's head coach Emily Cohan, that meant utilizing a rather slim bench with 10 players in total suiting up. One of those being Arizona transfer Emery Herman, who we saw firsthand commanding the attack at the setter position. Despite the numerous rotations, she received much playing time, with fellow setter Barrett Power still recovering from an injury. And I'd say Ram fans were pleased by her performance. The front court seemed well in sync, both offensively and defensively. Overall, the few hours served as good practice against a high-quality opponent. After the scrimmage, Cohan reflected on both her new role as head coach and what she saw from the girls.
I love our team, I love our staff, and so it's been a really, knock on wood, smooth transition so far. And I inherited a really strong culture to start with, so that helps. Yeah, I was really proud of the way they showed up from point one, and I think they were excited to be in front of an awesome crowd for a spring game. Like, that was a nice big crowd, and everybody loves playing in Moby, and it is a huge advantage, and I think they carried some of that energy, and they were playing scrappy defense and diving around, and we had some great blocking, and so much improved from the start of our spring, and still a long ways to go, right?
Regardless, it's exciting to see the chemistry and team dynamic in full swing so early. Outside hitter Malaya Jones also commented positively on the group's outing.
I think that we did a really good job just keeping the service pressure on them. We missed a couple in the beginning, but I feel like our hard serving really got them out of system. So I think that was a huge part. And also our block was really strong today. We've been working on it all spring. So I think just staying really penetrating at the block, and I think just staying really engaged. I think we did a really good job just kind of staying in it and just not giving up any point when it kind of got tough.
The Rams' composure was definitely evident throughout, and it really seems like they're settling into an identity. Next Saturday marks their final match of the spring season, traveling to Denver for a doubleheader against DU and Metro State. Mike, I gotta tell you, after what some might consider a down year for CSU volleyball, I'm super pumped for what's in store come August. We got the new coach, some new faces. I think it's gonna be a great year.
Yeah, I don't think we had a below average year last year, but we brought some pieces back. I think we could still have a really, really good year this year, especially definitely losing Tom. That's huge.
Yes.
But a new coach coming in, familiar with the program, I think it'll be good.
I agree.
But volleyball isn't the only fall designated sport making noise in April. Because again, we're talking about the gridiron, and they seem to be on the field almost every day. But if you want to have a better year than last, then we should all be glad the Rams are practicing as much as possible. But anyways, this past Saturday saw the team's first scrimmage in the spring in Canvas Stadium, and while there were a few lowlights, we saw a ton of great things from the green and gold. And I'm sure you were expecting film from the actual scrimmage, but if we gave you that, then we would expose all of our plays for our rivals next year. Regardless, though, early Saturday morning saw every unit get action, and one of the biggest storylines was the tight end position. All three tight ends had their names called numerous times, and College of DuPage transfer Vincent Brown had one of the longest catches of the day right down the middle. It wasn't a complete air raid, though, as our running backs got a ton of snaps and also did most of the scoring at the goal line. So overall, a productive first scrimmage and a good starting point to measure growth for this upcoming season. But I know it's hard to get excited about a team so far away from their actual season, but just seeing the culture Coach Norvell is building is really something special. Afterward, here he is explaining the vibe approaching his second year.
I know our players. I think we have a group of kids that are committed to being here. And so I just think we should show improvement. I think we got a team of guys that like each other and that are pushing each other to be better. And usually when you have that, you show improvement.
Yeah, Coach, it is a lot easier to work with a team when everyone is on board and meshing so well together. The Rams are just 2 weeks away from the famous green and gold game, so stay tuned for the next few weeks. But now let's step away from football. Leah, what's the latest on softball?
Well, Mike, the Rams face off against the Utah State Aggies tomorrow at noon and 3 here in Fort Collins. Pretty odd having a weekday doubleheader, right? But no need to worry. The sun will be shining, and I'm feeling very optimistic about this one. CSU is now 5-6 in the conference after losing this past weekend's series to San Jose State, which isn't spectacular. However, the Rams have stayed competitive in most of their losses. They've also experienced some pretty incredible moments with now 2 run rule dubs on the season. At this point, we've heard about CSU studs like Ashley York, Danielle Cerna, and Molly Gates to name a few. But let's take a peek at some Utah State key players, and shockingly, they're all underclassmen. Sophomore Ray LeClaire has had quite the year at the plate, posting a team-leading batting average at .342. Right behind her is freshman Kaya Pratt with 26 hits. In the circle is yet another freshman in Haley McLean, who has pitched over 67 innings with a 3.76 ERA. Tang. While the Aggies are a young group, the Rams flash the opposite, with special veteran talent that has guided them throughout the spring, and the numbers show it. CSU bests the Aggies in every offensive category, most notably runs. However, USU has the tools and its disposal to neutralize it, with more consistent pitching and overall better defense. The Aggies have far fewer errors, which could be crucial. Regardless, I'm super excited to watch the Rams compete back at home tomorrow, especially when it's against the far less superior Aggies. And well, Rams, we're going to take our first break.
But when we come back, Leah isn't totally done with softball yet. Hear more about a Fort Collins native and her journey into the Rams lineup.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. My final marks on softball tonight include a very talented player who is a true Ram at heart. I had the chance to speak with Brooke Bollender about her softball experience as a local product.
Guide, fire.
Springtime is here, and that means the game of softball is in full swing. Sophomore catcher Brooke Bollender is the only Fort Collins native for Colorado State, and there have been many steps along the way of her softball journey.
Well, at first I never really wanted to be a catcher. My coach kind of just threw me back there and forced me to be a catcher, so I never really enjoyed the position when I was younger, but now I love it.
To prepare for the college level, Bollender traveled almost every weekend during the summer for club ball, facing teams from California and Texas to get the highest intensity of competition. And her choice to stay in Fort Collins was simple.
First off, I just love CSU. I mean, I've been growing up around here, and my mom works here, and I kind of grew up at CSU, and I've just always loved it. And I love Coach Fisher, and I've talked to her since I was in middle school. Like, we've been in contact, and I've always come to the camps since I was young, growing up, and I just love it here, so I decided to stay at home.
And there are many perks outside of CSU that make Fort Collins great.
I love Horsestooth. I love, like, the community, too. I don't know, I feel like I know so many people in Fort Collins, and you could just be walking around Old Town and you see someone you know, and I love that about Fort Collins.
Bollender's leadership and impact on the team is shown in many aspects.
I think she leads by example a lot. She's not like a super loud person, but I think that she always does a great job, and everyone kind of looks up to her in that way, and her positive attitude and just being a fun person.
And there are many ways she shows her compatibility with her teammates as well.
We're always thinking the same thing, like whatever she's thinking, like I'm thinking, we can read each other's minds. I think that's kind of funny.
Despite the stress that comes with being a D1 athlete, especially one that is double majoring, Bollender still finds ways to grow every day.
I think my favorite part are all the lessons you learn while playing and all the people you meet along the way. I don't know, it's with all the challenges, you learn so much, and I think that's what stays with you forever.
And in the end, it's the group on the field that makes it all worth it.
Just knowing like you have a second family here. Like every day when we go into the locker room and we leave the locker room, like everyone's like, have a great day, have a great night. Just knowing you have like a whole support system.
My teammates, for sure. I love all of them so much. And we have so many different states and like cultures represented, I think, and getting to know all of them individually is awesome. And then playing with them on the field.
Wow, it was so awesome to get to know Brooke as a person and player. I can't wait to see all the amazing things she accomplishes this season. I had a great time meeting Brooke. I'm so excited for softball, and she's just such a great player for this team.
And the catching position, I mean, that's a super important position.
Yes.
You need to have a good player playing that position.
Oh, absolutely.
But in any case, you can catch Brooke yourself at tomorrow's doubleheader against Utah State. And staying outside but on the fairway, the CSU men's golf team is currently teeing off at the Western Intercollegiate in Santa Cruz. The results are still being accounted for, but entering today's round, the Rams sat in 5th place. CSU shot a 2 over 352 to be tied with number 43 ranked BYU. Davis Bryant paced the group, stroking 4 birdies to finish the round at 3 under at 67. Sophomore Christoph Blair was the only other Ram to end the day even or better. The event continues through tomorrow, so we'll see if Colorado State can elevate in the standings. And while there is so much activity happening right now, I guess the warmer weather arouses campus life just a little.
Perhaps that's true, Mike. And with one more on one club in particular, we toss it over to our feature reporter, Peyton Higgins. Peyton?
Thanks, guys. Last weekend, I got the opportunity to watch our men's lacrosse team battle the University of Utah. And along with seeing a CSU win, I also learned some more about the team's ongoing season, which has a lot to look forward to.
While the men's lacrosse team was able to pull off a win against the University of Utah last Saturday, they make it apparent that winning is not what the team is all about.
It's such a family. I mean, you step on campus with 60 friends, and it's such an enjoyable experience every single day, going to practice, kind of grinding it out together. It's super fun.
Definitely just the atmosphere. I mean, team's great. We got a lot of big characters, so it's always really loud at practice.
Although their record stands at 5-5, the team still has a lot to look forward to this season.
Next Friday, we're playing in Canvas Stadium on April 15th. That's going to be super exciting.
This is my senior night, so I have some family coming out, some friends, and it will be a really good experience. So really want students to kind of show out and kind of support us, and hopefully we win the trophy against CU.
But that's not their only message for CSU students.
We have a lacrosse team, and you can come and watch games. Because honestly, a lot of people are really surprised when they find out that we have one. It's not NCAA, so you kind of just forget about it, but it's really high-level competition.
We're a super fun group. It's a fast sport. It's super rowdy during games, and when we're on campus and playing games, it's a lot of fun. So come out, support us.
The team leaves us with one final message.
Go Rams!
I had such a fun time at the game, and all of us here at CTV are anxiously awaiting their upcoming matchup against CU Boulder this Saturday in Canvas Stadium. Mike and Leah, back to you.
Such a cool thing when we get to cover teams that you don't really hear about.
I know, and especially our club teams too. I feel like they're so underrepresented. Yeah. We always try to talk about them at CTV, and I love lacrosse.
Yeah.
So
hey, we do it at least.
We do it at least, exactly. And well, that's all we have for right now.
But don't go away just yet, because after the break, the three of us will discuss title hopes for the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche. Who has a better chance? We'll debate in Hot or Not.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate. The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy. Ugh, my bad. Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. And now the NBA regular season has come to a close, and I would say the Denver Nuggets met their lofty 2022-23 expectations, entering the playoffs as the 1 seed out of the West.
But that's not the only Denver team absolutely dominating. In the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche are fighting for the top spot in the Western Conference, which has 3 games left. Needless to say, Ball Arena has been the place to be during the winter.
And with the playoffs looming, it's time for us to reflect on each team. Will the NBA Finals come to Denver? Can the Avs win a second straight cup? Of course, both can happen, but our first hot or not question is, who has a better chance of winning it all, the Nuggets or the Avalanche? I personally did say the Nuggets for this one. I think their defense can take it all the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that they got a really good team over there at the Nuggets, but I think the Avalanche have a better chance this year, and it's honestly not because of who the Nuggets are. It's because of who else is in the West and that I think will beat the Nuggets on their trip to the finals.
No, I mean, that's a really good point. You got the Grizzlies. The Warriors always kill us, I feel like, almost every single year. But we got to root for something. They have had a run like no other. The Avalanche have had players out, like McKinnon, and they've lost time this year, not being healthy. But we've had Murray, Jokic, and MPJ healthy pretty much all year. And that, to me, says a lot.
I mean, you are healthy for sure, but I just think there are teams that when they're all put together are better. You saw a team like the Phoenix Suns who never really got to play good games against the Nuggets, so I think they're a team that could definitely take them down as well.
But they have so much depth. Like, they have KCP, Reggie Jackson. Like, they have so many people on their team that can assist in that way, too.
I just don't think those bench players are all that. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Jokic is definitely the performer he is.
Yeah.
Don't think he's going to win a third
But it's
MVP.
all of the team. They're second in the league with assists. They're second place in three-point shooting.
The stats don't lie.
They're first place in their field goal percentage. Like, I think that, obviously Joker is a powerhouse, but he has the team to back him up and support that regardless.
I agree he has a team. There's just better teams to me in the West.
But then why did they get the number 1 seed? And have proven it all year.
Regular season is always kind of just a thing that's kind of a throw up. You get to the playoffs, that's where you see the real teams come alive.
I think they're going to get a title with Jokic, and I think this is going to be the year.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is healthy as of right now. They kind of had a weird stretch at the end. Like, they lost to the Jazz the other day, but, that's like right before going into the playoffs.
They weren't playing other players.
Yes, very nervous.
Very nervous.
I don't know. With the Avs, I don't know. It's so hard to win 2 back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Look, you're right. I don't know. But I think if we're asking me one or the other, we're saying Nuggets or Avalanche, I'm going to choose the Avalanche simply because the Nuggets aren't going to win the NBA Finals.
We'll see.
I guess we're going to have to see, Mike.
And unlike hockey and basketball, another major sports league began play just a little over a week ago. The MLB season is underway with so many changes.
That's right, Mike. Whether it's the pitch clock, shift restrictions, or larger bases, baseball feels slightly different in 2023.
And with the sport declining in popularity, it seems that these adjustments have given life to America's national pastime once again. So, do we agree? Our next question is just that. Is baseball being saved by the recent rule changes? And I definitely do think it is.
I mean, I think the rule changes are great. I think it definitely speeds up the game. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to agree there.
I agree, too. I think I've seen some things that a lot of opening day viewership has been up, dramatic. Like, we have 10% increase in Fox, 11% ESPN. That's huge.
Yeah.
People actually tuning in and watching on the first day.
Especially in the regular season. Like
Yes.
you always see the crowds turn out for the playoffs, but
Yes.
seeing people really start and watch these regular season games definitely sees like an uptick in baseball.
Yeah, when we get to October, that's when people
Yeah.
actually start
Yeah.
hearing, from day one,
Yeah.
that matters a lot. And I think, like you said, with the time being sped up, it's going from over 3 hours to 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's huge.
And you see it every play. It's definitely
Yes.
noticeable every play. It's going faster.
Yes. And I don't know. I think players are enjoying it more. There's a lot more
Definitely.
stolen bases. Pitchers are probably upset because you kind of have to have that rhythm when you're on the mound.
I'm not really sure about the bigger bases.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure the reasoning really for that
I
and how
guess
that
safety?
affects
I don't
them.
fully get that either. I think it is a safety
I
thing.
mean, it's
though.
easier to hit the base now, I guess. It's a
Yeah.
it's a bigger target.
It's a bigger target. More stolen bases.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was some ridiculous shifts last year.
Yeah.
I saw a play the other day where a guy bunted to third because nobody was there and got a double last year. You just can't see that anymore.
Cracking down on the shifts is definitely a good thing.
I think so too, because I mean that just kind of takes a lot of things out of it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're playing more traditionally in that
Yeah.
sense. But then now it's quicker.
It feels more organized when you don't see those plays.
It's
Yes.
more action in less time, which keeps viewer attention a lot easier.
Yes, people actually are more
Because you could sit
engaged.
there and the whole pitch count before the season, you could sit there and the whole pitch count would go minutes.
Yes.
And you'd just be
Definitely.
sitting there waiting, but now we get them every 30 seconds.
And I At first, I didn't know how to feel. I was
Yeah.
like, they're trying to change it, but the numbers are showing and people are watching.
Yeah, and you
so-
see it in other sports too.
Oh,
Shot
yeah.
clocks, play clocks in football, like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, definitely. Now we just got to see if the Rockies are going to take it to their advantage.
We can hope.
we can always hope.
But with that, Rams, that is all the sports action we have for you tonight. But the fun doesn't end here, because in tomorrow's Ramboozled episode, we'll have 3 CSU athletes compete against one another, plus a guest appearance from our friend Ruby Kaiser.
Who's the more sports savvy of all of them? You'll find out tomorrow starting at 7.
In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you then.